The secret to the perfect birria isn't just the meat, it's in the dipping broth. We're making quesabirria tacos today with tender, slow-braised beef loaded with chilies and spices, tucked into corn tortillas with melted cheese. It's the ultimate comfort food. And I'm gonna show you how to get that consommé so rich, you're gonna wanna drink it. The first thing we gotta do is create our chili paste or chili sauce here. This is the most important flavor building component of the dish, and it's so good, I'm telling you. So what I have here are some dried Mexican chili peppers. I have ancho peppers and guajillo peppers, and you can use all guajillo if you want to. I have about 5 or 6 each. Really by weight, it's 3 ounces. You'll use about 3 ounces. And first thing you wanna do is we'll remove stems if they have stems and remove the seeds. So there's a lot of seeds that wind up floating around in the sauce if you don't remove them. You'll see how many we have left at the end here. All right, got the last of my peppers de-seeded here. And you can see there's a lot of seeds that come out of here, but there's pepper seeds everywhere. Patty's like, seriously, dude? I mean, they went up in the bathroom. How does this happen? So anyway, all right, so we've got these all ready. Next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna toast the peppers just very lightly for about a minute or 2 in a hot pan. You can start to smell them. They're very lightly toasted. Just make sure they don't burn or they become more bitter. So also, I'm going to use some chile de arbol peppers. Chile de arbol are not normally used in making birria, not that I've really seen, but chile de arbol are nice and spicy, and if you have not met me yet, I do like to make things a little bit extra spicy, so. I've got 4 chile de arbols, a light toasting here, and into the bowl. And I can turn off my heat. And next I'm gonna add some very hot water over the top of our dried peppers, lightly toasted, like so. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and cover this, and we're gonna let that steep for a good 20 minutes, maybe 30, until the peppers get nice and soft, and then we will make a delicious sauce. All right, while I got my peppers steeping here and softening, gonna get some vegetables cooked down. I've got my pan set up to a nice medium heat, and I'm gonna add a little bit of vegetable oil, about a medium-sized onion, white onion, and I have 3 medium-sized tomatoes. Going to cook these down in the pan for about 5 minutes or so to soften things up. All right, this is softening up very nicely. So next we will add our garlic. I have I think I have 5 cloves of garlic that is chopped, rough chopped. And we'll go ahead and stir that into the pan. And we'll cook that down until you can smell the gorgeous garlic bloom in the room. There it is. Blooming garlic. All right, remove this from heat and let me get my food processor and we will continue. All right, got my food processor set up. So go ahead and put your onion and tomato mixture into your food processor or blender. And then we'll add our softened peppers. Make sure they're nice and soft. And we're gonna just pull them out of here, like so. All right, so we're gonna reserve the cooking liquid because we may need some of it later. But next we're gonna go ahead and add some spices to this. And the spices can vary. These are the ones that I like to use. So I have a tablespoon of Mexican oregano, and a tablespoon of salt, and a teaspoon of cinnamon. Cinnamon's not in every recipe. I like the addition of it. It's just delicious with Mexican sauces. And I have a teaspoon of ground ginger, and some black pepper, about a teaspoon. And I also have a half a cup of apple cider vinegar, and you can use other vinegars. So for now, I'm gonna process this. All right, let's take a look. Oh yeah, got a really nice paste. If I wanna thin it out, my recipe actually calls for a little bit of beef stock, but this feels loose enough to me just looking at it. You can strain it at this point if you want to, or just like process the heck out of it to really make sure there's no bits floating around in there. I'm gonna just process for a little bit longer. All right, yeah, we're looking good right here. You can also thin it out if you want to with a little bit of the soaking liquid. But at this point, I think we're good to go. So I'm going to move on to the next step, which is the meat. Birria is very often made with goat. It's actually fantastic with goat. But birria is very often also made with beef, and this is beef birria. You can use any cuts of beef that you like, but this recipe really benefits from meat that is cooked low and slow. Really the tougher cuts of meat like beef chuck, brisket, shank, One of my favorites here is beef ribs. I got some beef short ribs, and also I'm gonna toss in a beef shank because just love it. I just love it. And so here I have 4 pounds roughly, and I'm gonna get all of this moved over to a large bowl. And if you're using large cuts like a roast, like a chuck roast, cut it into smaller pieces so that you can really get more flavor surface area for your rub here. And I got a thinly cut shank into the bowl. All right, next I've got my delicious chili puree here. Gonna get that in here. Lots of flavor. And we're gonna rub it down. Oh, but first I must remove my wedding ring. Sorry, Patty, we're not married. Gonna get this nicely rubbed in. We're still married. Patty can't get rid of me, sorry. You wanna get this nicely rubbed in as much as you can here. I like to marinate mine for a good 2 hours at least. Ideally, actually overnight. You'll get a lot more flavor building with that. You could just go ahead and proceed with the recipe if you want to, or go ahead and cover this and set it in the fridge. Oh, we're married again. All right, once you've got your meat marinated to however you like to do it, as long as you like, we're gonna go ahead and get our pot set up here. I've got a large pot set, and I'm gonna turn on the heat. Just got more of a medium-low heat. And we'll move all of our beef into the pot, and make sure you get all that sauce out of there, the sauce marinade, all the flavor right there, hugely important. And I have 4 cups of beef broth. Go ahead and pour it in. You want to have a lot of extra broth for the consomme at the end here. And I'm going to cover, and we're going to simmer this low and slow. You want to simmer it for at least 3 hours. I mean, you can check it after 2, but what you really want is for all that meat to be super fall off the bone tender and shreddable. All right, let's check back in a few hours. All right, it's been a little over 3 hours, and oh, look at this. Dude, smells amazing in here. So I'm gonna remove this from heat, and you can see all this meat in here. It is so ridiculously tender. So I'm gonna move some to a cutting board here, and I can show you. Look at it, it's just falling right off the bone. Seriously, look at the bone is just, oh yeah. I mean, you could shred this so easily. Got a couple of forks here, you just kind of pull it right apart. Oh man, the meat is so tender. It's so tender. So what we want to do is I'm going to move all the meat over here, and we're going to shred it up. And this right here, this is a hugely important part of the recipe, the liquid, the braising liquid, or the consomme. So you can serve this actually as more of a soup with some shredded meat and the liquid into a bowl like a soup. But there's different ways to serve it that are even more popular. But all right, let's get this meat shredded first. And you can get rid of all the bones. Like a lot of these bones, like all the meat just fell right off of it. And then we'll go ahead and shred the meat. You can chop it or shred it with forks, or pretty much however you like to whatever consistency you're really looking for. Oh wow, this is just the most tender meat. Seriously, you gotta look at this, guys. So one thing we could do, if you wanted to, is you can add this to a bowl, cover it and refrigerate it, and let the flavors meld overnight. And you can do the same with this consomme. You can chill it in the fridge, and all the fat on top will harden up, and you can skim that off, and you can use it later. But for right now, I'm actually going to skim some off the top here, and we're gonna save it for a potential use, and it is your choice if you want to, but there's quite a bit of fat that's on top. Set this aside, and let's make some tacos. All right, I got my pan set up here to a medium heat. We'll add a bit of olive oil, about a couple tablespoons. Heat this through a bit. And I'm going to add some of the meat and get a nice little char on it, add some flavor. And for tacos, corn tortillas are ideal for this. And you can dip it into the consomme and then start cooking it in the pan. Or you can use the oil that you had left over, a little bit of the oil. Don't go crazy. Set this into the pan, swirl it around. You can definitely brush a little bit on if you want to. It's a lot of flavor right here, my friends. Flip this up, look at that. Gorgeousness right there. The tortilla starts to puff up a little bit in the hot pan. That's what you're looking for. All right, I'm gonna move some of this meat over, fold it over here. And you can serve this with all your favorite fixins. I think I overstuffed mine. That's all right. Let's do another taco. Woo, splatter. Brush this on. Let me lower the heat. All right, got my other tortilla cooking here. All right, here's your other option, my friends. Quesabirria. You want some cheese on yours? Get some shredded Mexican style cheese with the birria meat. Kind of flip this over a little bit. I like thick, meaty tacos. All right, let me get these moved over to a plate. So what do you think? Are you team cheese, quesabirria? No cheese? Let's give it a taste. It does not get better than this. Best way to serve it though, honestly, is you dip it in this consomé. Like, look at that stuff, dude. Seriously, this is the flavor. This recipe is in my cookbook, Flavor Madness, 100 bold flavored recipes from around the world. It is on page 147, and I seriously hope you'll check it out and let me know. And I appreciate your support. Birria, my friends, I totally gotta hear what you think of the recipe in the comments below. It is just so delicious with all those chilies. Amazing. So, all right, I'll see you in the kitchen next time. Mike from Chili Pepper Madness. Bye.